Welcome to the Blend Talk. Ladies, addressing your mind, body, and spirit. Your spirit. All in an effort to make you whole. Coming together to heal your soul. Welcome to the Blend Talk. Ladies, addressing your mind, body, and spirit. Your spirit. All in an effort to make you whole. Make it whole. Coming together to heal your soul. Heal your soul.
I love our setting, and I want to welcome everybody to the Blend. This is the mix for your mind, your body, and your spirit.
Yes.
And we're getting today into the digital headspace. You know, talking to you about all things tech. We are looking to change the landscape of Black women in technology. Why? Because we are underrepresented
right.
in the tech world. But we are on the move, and so we're chatting with women who are riding the tech train, taking the express, mastering technology, because we want to get to the table. We want to monetize our businesses. We want to get to the decision makers and close that digital divide.
Yes, because you know, ladies, before I was a psychologist, I rode the tech train, and I want to know how you guys ride the tech train. You know, and I had the opportunity to be at a high enough position to make an impact. But you know what's important? What was important to me as I grew up is I got to leverage a program called STEM, which represents science, technology, engineering, and math, and it helps us. You know, who don't have access to learn more about critical thinking and those kind of technical skills that you need. But also nowadays they've changed it and added an A, which means STEAM, to science, technology, engineering, arts and math.
I love that. That's really important.
Exactly, and why that's important, especially with the work that I do today, is adding arts adds the creativity and the ability to create meaning in life.
And we need
with
that.
technical things, because you know right now technology is shifting the brains of Generation Z, and you know we have the humanoid and the android robots, and so there's so many things.
She loves the robots.
But this show today, we're going to focus, because tech's so big, we're going to focus on social media.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? I'm a science nerd, and I am proud of it.
You don't look like a nerd.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm very sciencey. But you know, seriously, there are so many advancements in technology when it comes to healthcare. Have you ever heard of biofeedback tools and bioenergetic tools? Well, they bring your body back into balance without the use of drugs. You know, biofeedback, it's looking at the physiological function of the body. Bioenergetic, looking at the energy systems of the body. It's so fascinating.
It really is. And I'm glad we're talking about social media, because I use a lot of it to build my business, with clients. Skyping with my clients international. And guess what? I get to see my Cody, my grandson. I FaceTime him, you know, but I love it. The downside for me that I hope we can talk a little bit about is how, you know, before my life as a speaker, I was in human resources, which meant I was helping to place people into jobs. But have you noticed how now when we go to the grocery store, self-help. You go to the bank.
It's everywhere.
Self-help.
Right?
Come on.
No, it's absolutely
Take it
everywhere.
over.
And as the resident millennial, I will say that tech is my entire life.
We know.
I don't know about y'all, but my phone is my alarm clock, right? I don't even go into stores anymore to shop. I do that via apps.
Wow.
And don't get me started on Instagram, because like my whole life is literally on Instagram. I make business there, I make money there. I mean, I make my friends there. So sorry.
Absolutely. I know
Yeah.
there's a lot going on in that space, right?
Overwhelming.
And I think it's important when you talk about connection and meaning, the root word of technology is techne.
Okay.
And that means, it's a Latin word that means a craft, and it's a poetic expression, and it helps us reveal who we are and who we are not. And I think technology and social media kind of gets us there. Like, because selfies and all these things that are not real, it's revealing something about humanity today.
Right. But you know what? A concern of mine is that we're not shutting down at night when we need to be shutting
That's
down.
important.
We get very addicted.
We're sleep deprived. And we have this pineal gland. We've heard of the pineal gland,
It's the
right?
third eye.
Third eye, right?
I remember.
Its job is to produce melatonin, and melatonin controls our sleep cycles. And if it's not dark when we're going to sleep, then we're not producing melatonin. So it's harder for us to sleep. So this blue light that we're getting from our cell phones, that we're getting from our laptops, it is really hindering us when it comes to being optimal as far as our health.
Those little lights from the TV, the lights from our phone. Yeah, it can
They
be
all
very
need to be shut
disruptive.
down.
It's disruptive. But I think it's also disruptive to our spirit. When we start relying more on these tech things instead of listening to the voice within, I think there's a disconnection with the Holy Spirit.
It's really important that we're talking about this because we have to understand that tech, there's pros and there's cons, and it's the same thing for social media.
Right.
So I like to tell people, we got to realize that social media, just like any other business, is out there trying to make that money, right?
True.
So they're
Very
literally
true.
throwing these research dollars out, trying to understand how we can make our brains dependent on it, right? So we can keep on using it, right?
Yes.
So with Instagram,
Talk to 'em.
those likes, those comments, those notifications, those are all dopamine triggers.
Absolutely.
Literally purposefully designed to help us experience pleasure, give us that mood booster. So when we don't get those likes, when we don't get those notifications, our mood is impacted because our brains have been set up.
What about
that way.
dating? Do you vet
Absolutely.
your possible dates on
Absolutely.
social media?
Yeah, if you don't have an Instagram page, you don't exist to me.
You made an important point about the brain. So also taking care of your brain and your mind around creativity. I mean, when it's so stuffed with all of these things, opinions about you, opinions about other people, negativity, that actually makes your
That's good.
creativity difficult.
That's good.
Yeah.
And there's a brain-gut connection.
Right,
So
exactly.
remember, I was talking
you
about
would know.
melatonin.
Right.
Well, serotonin is produced in the gut, and the pineal gland actually takes serotonin and converts it to melatonin. So it's important to keep our gut healthy too. So I like that you brought that up. Dr.
Yeah,
Moore.
and I remember you saying something like we need to go to bed by, did you say 9 or 10 o'clock at night?
Between 10 and 11, that's
Okay,
the
10 and 11.
optimal
Okay,
time.
that's a little
That's
better.
optimal time
Absolutely.
for scrolling.
No,
After scroll, we can go to bed.
Well, but in the middle of the night, I mean, a lot of us get up in the middle of the night
I'm
and we
guilty
go
of
to our
that.
phone immediately.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well,
guilty of
this
that.
has been great. We sure have a lot of input
know, I
today.
want to talk some
It
more.
seems tech can work for us or against us. Either way, we need more of us in this game.
We really do.
When we come back, we have a tech maven who makes it her mission to up the statistics of black
Woo, I
women
love
in
it.
the techosphere.
Yes.
We're hacking into technology like you've never seen before, so stay clicked, and we will be right back with
Yes,
the
we
Blue.
will.
Coming up, Black Enterprise reporter and editor Sequoia Blodgett talks tech success with Jewel and Peace. Stick with this thread. We'll return in a sec.
It's time for the blend talk. It's time for the blend talk.
In the technology world, there is a digital divide. As black women, we're underrepresented. We're missing billions and billions of dollars, opportunities to start up our businesses and monetize our products and services. And we need a guidepost. We need someone to help us navigate these waters. So I'm so excited that today we have the editor, the digital editor of Black Enterprise magazine with us today. Will you help me welcome Sequoia Blodgett? So glad that you're here today.
Sequoia, you look amazing. Can I
Thank
just
you.
say that? This hair is everything. So, like Joel said, we're talking about technology, but it's such a broad conversation.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Such a broad conversation. So, what part of tech are you passionate about?
So I'm particularly passionate about monetizing technology. How do you leverage it to grow your business? How do you use it to leverage and grow products, services? What are you doing with it?
Yeah, what are you doing with technology, with your products and services?
Exactly.
So first you gotta have products and services.
Yeah, I mean, so you guys were talking about social earlier. I mean, it's great to make your dance memes and your shiggy videos or whatever you need to do, but like, how are you making money?
How you making money?
yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
the
real.
question. It really is. Now, you are a minority in Silicon Valley. You are a woman, a solo entrepreneur who got major funding. Tell us a little bit about that journey. How did that come to be?
Yeah, so I went through this program, Draper University, that was created by a billionaire venture capitalist named Tim Draper.
Billionaire.
With a B.
Okay.
With a B.
Billionaire.
And it was a crazy, zany, insane journey. But I hustled. I have
right.
tenacity and grit. And at the end of the day, he financed my company.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it sounds like this was a unique experience to you.
Oh, yeah.
But I know a lot of people who at least feel like they have great tech ideas and they say that their pressure point is getting that funding that they need.
Yeah.
So what would be your advice to them?
Actually having a product that is generating revenue.
Okay.
So a lot of people are like, oh, I have this idea on this napkin. Like, no, you need to have a product that's generating revenue before you approach an investor, because at the end of the day, they are an investor. They want to make their money back.
Yeah, that's
so
true. You gotta be thinking about
It's
that.
about adding value. That's what this show is about. How can we add value to Black women's lives?
Yeah, so when you're adding value, you want to make sure that you're going to know, right? Because you're going to have customers. If you have a product you put out to market, you have no customers, that means you have no products. It's time to go back to the drawing board, reiterate, iterate, as they would say in Silicon Valley, change it, or pivot, which means change it completely, and then try something different. And don't be afraid to fail.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See, that's a whole other message.
just want
fail
success.
fast.
Fail
Fast.
Yes.
Now, you started 7 a.m. and Commas.
Yeah.
Tell us about those. Like, you have 2 tech companies under your belt.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Tell us about those.
Yeah, so 7 a.m. was started particularly for our community because I felt like we try to dodge mental health. And then, like, no, we need to have those conversations. So what are we listening to? What are we paying attention to? And we pay attention to pop culture. So I'll do things like Kendrick Lamar teaches or talks about depression, things like that, where people are actually plugged in, right?
My language.
Yeah, absolutely.
So your experience was in music industry,
Oh, yeah.
creating videos,
Yeah.
and so all of your relationships are coming together in a synergy so that you have a platform to put out your message to our community about mental health.
Absolutely. So I was a commercial music video director prior to all of that. And like she said, my relationships were able to transition over. So I know how to create like pretty pictures, and we as a community pay attention to pretty pictures.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
That's real. There's psychology behind that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I use that to leverage and build the company.
So I can't help but notice that you're this beautiful young Black woman in this space that we are so underrepresented in. Like, what's that like?
Honestly, for me, it's finding my tribe. When I was in Silicon Valley, there was a lot of people who didn't look like me, but maybe we spoke the same language. Maybe we talked about tech and we connected on that level. So finding people who you actually relate to and you connect to, and then making sure that those people, you guys are bringing each other up and coming up together. A lot of people like to network up. It's like Tristan Walker does not have time to sit down with you. You need to find people who are just like you on that same plane.
On the same level.
Exactly, and you need to network together and then grow together, and that's how you succeed.
So what would we say to our young people that are watching to steer them in the direction of science, technology, engineering, and math? What should they know? Who should they connect with? Are there any groups? Are there any books?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're with each other, right? They should absolutely be connecting with each other, taking courses at their universities, exploring technology, and knowing you're already on technology. Again,
that's true.
Again, going back to what you were saying earlier in the segment, is you use technology every single day. So how could you be building those apps and making that money?
Instead of just being a consumer,
Exactly.
how can we create?
You want to be a producer.
Right. How can we create?
Absolutely.
That's everything.
Yeah.
So I know that there are young and old Black women out there who are inspired by what you do, inspired at the space that you are taking up. I love that. What is your piece of advice for them?
Yeah, bring value. A lot of people meet you and they're like, hey, what can you do for me? I'm like, nothing. Like, you need to bring value first.
Come on.
And then once you bring that value, then we can exchange value. And I know it feels like very transactional, but you need to have something
All relationships are transactional.
Absolutely.
Reciprocal.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You need,
reciprocity. Yeah.
100%. You need to bring something to the table first, right? And then those people will be more likely to help you because you've already brought something to the table versus asking, what can you do for me? Nobody wants somebody who's leeching off of them.
Right. Sequoia, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise.
Absolutely.
You are
Thank you.
incredible.
Oh, thank you so much, guys.
When we come back, we're training our brains with Dr. Gloria, who gives us a piece of her mind in a think tank you won't want to miss. Keep it locked. This is The Blend.
Next, our co-host welcome special guest Don Strozier for some technical mind games you won't want to miss. Stay with us. We're heading right back.
It's time for the blend talk. It's time for the blend talk.
Welcome back, Blend family. We are flipping the script. We have our resident fitness expert, Dawn Strozier, working out with us, but she's not training our bodies this time. She's joining us to train our mind.
Yes.
Dawn, we usually see you pumping iron.
Yes, or kicking my butt.
But I'm in a dress today.
You look good.
So we're not talking about physical health today. We're talking about mental health.
Yes, and you know, I actually love the term mental hygiene because we all understand the concept hygiene, right?
Yeah.
We have physical hygiene, we have dental hygiene. Well, with our mental hygiene, it's the same exact thing. There's things we got to be doing to keep our minds healthy and strong.
Absolutely. Don, you know the mind is a muscle too, right?
Yes, it is.
And we have to work it out as much as we do our biceps, right?
Yes.
And so what we're going to do today is we're going to have an exercise that's going to work out and expand our mind. You up for that?
I'm up for it. Yes.
Okay, yes. And so while we're getting ready, if the studio audience could get a piece of paper and pen and our viewers, and we're going to do some old school non-technology exercises for the brain.
Wait,
what is that?
Yes, do it.
So ladies, are you ready? Do you have your pen and
Yes.
Don,
Got it.
while we're
My
getting
Don
ready,
and
what are
pen.
some of the benefits of, mentally that you gain from working out?
Well, exercise has a host of mental benefits.
Okay.
What's powerful is exercise actually it increases the flow of cells into the part of the brain that's responsible for learning.
Okay.
So a quick 20-minute workout helps your mind retain information as well as process information. So I like to say if it's good for the
That's good to
heart,
know.
it's good for the brain.
Yeah,
Right?
20 minutes.
Most people don't know
Very good. That's
good to
great
know.
information.
Yeah.
And so, are you ladies ready?
Yeah.
Ready. Exercise? Okay.
So ready.
It's okay.
Okay.
Audience, you
Okay.
ready? We're going to try something that expands this a little bit further. Good job. So what I want you to do now is with your non-dominant hand again,
Okay.
I want you to write out whatever's bothering you, like whatever present in your mind right now. You know, like my husband just got on my nerve, or whatever it is. Write it out, and then what I want you to do is write it out and then don't reread it. Throw it away. Okay. Because you know what happens? This is called free journaling. You know what happens when we usually journal? We write everything with our dominant hand, like pages and pages, and what do?
That's me.
We reread it. So now we're re-traumatizing ourselves. We're saying,
that's
oh,
true.
let me read this negativity again and over and over. And you never let it go.
So if you're stressed, write stressed. If you're stressing about your job, you can write your job or your husband.
Well, and write
or
what it's
okay.
about.
Yes.
Write the situation.
Got it.
Don has a
Write it
lot
out.
of stresses.
And then throw it away.
Love is stressing me out right now.
Hey, she said throw it away. Okay,
well.
she said throw it away.
Throw it away. Let it go.
And we're
Let
releasing.
it go.
But I mean, look at Dawn. She really has got her mind strong. You
Well,
get
why
rid
is
of her.
that,
Because
Dawn?
I exercise.
See, there you go. See, there's another benefit of
Exercising.
Okay, so good job there, guys. Okay, want to do another one?
Yes.
Okay.
Bring it on.
So now what I want to do is, this is a really simple one that you can do in your office or in your mind or whatever. You know how the figure 8 is the infinity sign. And so what I want you to do now is to take your piece of paper again, but I want you to turn the figure 8 horizontally. And then I want you to do the figure 8
With
so
which
that you're
hand?
doing this with your dominant hand.
Okay,
The
good.
hand
That's
you normally
easy.
write with, right. You can
right.
go back to regular. Now
Okay.
what this is doing while you're doing this is our left brain controls our logic or our analysis, our command and control, our bossiness, right?
Yeah.
Which we do a lot of that, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So what we want to do now is balance our brain. This is a whole brain exercise. And we want to bring in the right brain, which is creativity, spirituality, meaning, music, joy.
I can feel them connecting.
Exactly, and you're connecting both sides of your brain so that now you have a whole brain. And this is something when you're in, a meeting and you're bored, you can kind of start doing this, and you probably would come up with some good ideas, in the meeting instead of vegging out.
Yeah, I like this.
So how
you like
often
that?
should we do all of these exercises?
It's important to work out your mind as much as you do your body. And so meditation and all of these exercises and more can really help. But I want to try one more quick thing, okay? Because we actually collected names from our studio audience, and thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys.
And this is a memory game. And memory is important for dementia, even if you're not old, it's just good to, test your memory. So I'm going to call out some names, and I want you guys see how many you can remember, okay? Okay. So I have Demarius, LaQuisha, Shanae, Sterling, Contessa, and Opal. So Jewel, you want to start
I'll
first?
start with the Jewel. Opal, Contessa, Demarius, Cody, Chocolate,
Cody's not
Velvet.
She's out. She's out.
Did
She's on the game.
That was good.
Okay, what did you try?
LaQuisha, Opal, Demarius,
Help me out.
Okay,
Yes.
very good.
There you go.
Yeah. So as you guys can see, there's a lot of information here that can help your mind and help expand your mind with these exercises.
Good stuff.
Oh, don't hate on my grandson. I love him so much.
So that was a head game, right?
That was really a head game.
That was fun. That was
Amazing.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we're going to introduce you to an entrepreneur in skincare next who has developed her own technologies for skincare products. It's going to help you face the future. And if you're feeling overwhelmed by all of this social media, we have just the right young woman who's on a mission to help us get fed by your feed. So won't you stay with us, everybody? This is The Blend.
Coming up, naturopathic skincare expert Dr. Tracy Williams joins Dr. Peace and Dr. Gloria with tips from her Facebook. It's a formula for success, so stick around.
It's time for the blend talk. It's time for the blend talk.
We are so glad you're back. We are going glam today. With us is Dr. Tracy Williams, founder of Delord Skincare. She's a beauty product executive embracing new technology for developing her formulas and packaging her products. Dr. Tracy, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, Dr. Tabitha, thank you so much for having me. I'm so blessed to be here with you all.
What does integrative aesthetics mean, and why did you decide to enter into the field?
Integrative aesthetics is simply combining beauty nutrition, so we're working from the inside out in order to bring our skin to be clarified, and so etc. We want to help reduce wrinkles, help firm the skin, and also keep the skin color in balance, right?
Yes.
So we got to work from the inside out because the foods we eat, the things we take in, have free radicals in them, and they can damage not only the organs, but our largest organ of the body, which is the skin.
Right.
So we want to integrate good, healthy living along with healthy, natural skincare products.
I love your holistic concept, yes.
Yeah, and
Thank
it's
you, thank you.
fascinating, Dr. Tracy, that you mentioned that the skin is an organ.
Oh, yes.
And
Thank
in
you.
looking at some of the ingredients of your products, I'm curious about, why did you bring this skincare technology to fruition? What was missing in the field?
With black women, I'm going to say black women in particular, we have problems with fibroids, right?
Right.
We have problems with cancers, different cancers and things of that nature.
Yes.
So I never could understand why will we take something as simple as caring for our skin to create more problems for our bodies.
Right.
Okay, why don't we use natural products? Because the products that we use, if they're full of toxins, they're going to integrate into our skin, into our bodies.
Absolutely.
So we use them every day. Just
Yes. So our
multiple times.
exactly liver, our kidneys,
Yes.
etc. Things that mimic estrogen, so we get our fibroids. So we have to get safe, natural, plant-based products to use on a regular basis.
I love that.
Okay.
And just so our viewers understand, we're talking about estrogen dominance.
Yes.
And some of the products that we're using are causing us to be estrogen dominant,
Yes.
which causes the fibroids.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
So tell me this, with so many products on the market today,
Yes.
what separates your product? I mean, what really makes your product so unique?
To be honest with you, it's love. It's the Lord. They're named the Lord Skincare for a reason. It's love, and when you think about it, it's like, how can you put the Lord's name on anything that's going to damage his beautiful, his queens, his beautiful people? You can't put the name the Lord on a product and actually consciously sell it to someone or even give it to someone, and you know it's going to damage their bodies.
Right.
I can't do it.
I love that.
So-
And speaking of love,
Yes.
you know, it's important as a psychologist for me
Yes.
to help people to understand how to love themselves.
Beautiful.
And yet, you know,
Yeah.
as we become older, even not, you know, if we have eczema or some chronic skin condition, you know, that outside view sometimes can impact us internally.
Absolutely.
How do you deal with that with your patients who have chronic skin problems?
Well, every client that I have actually, and every person that I come in contact with, I try and bring them God's love, first of all. Next, I already know I usually know what they may be going through or feeling because I had acne since I was 11 years old. I tried everything. I went to all kinds of doctors and tried a lot of different things. Used a lot of different toxic medicines also.
Right.
Okay, so my first thing is to embrace them and let them know that I understand. Okay.
Yes.
And from there, we work with the nutrition. Lots of sugars are usually being taken and eaten, you know, things of that nature. Refined carbohydrates, things of that nature.
Right.
We help to detoxify the liver and the
Yes.
colon, etc.
Yes,
Right?
Very important.
Yes, important.
And my main thing is, after all that, is to really work on their skin, getting it clear as soon as possible. So I have them come in weekly treatments.
That's awesome.
So when they have weekly treatments, they will see the difference in their skin from the
Build
first.
up the confidence.
Yes, from the first day.
That's important.
And so every time they come back, their skin looks better to me and to them. Like,
These products are amazing.
Thank you.
And I'm wondering when we're looking at all of the ingredients and the ways that they can help you, where can we get the products?
at dlordskincare.com.
Oh, okay.
dlordskincare.com.
That's really cool. Absolutely appreciate
Yes.
it.
Thank
so
you.
thank you so much,
Oh,
Tracy, for
thank
being
you
with
so
us.
much.
We
Thank you.
totally
Thank you so
enjoyed
much.
this
Yes.
conversation. Very
Great
educational.
information.
Thank you for having me.
So when we come
Thank you.
back, everyone, our next guest discusses how tech can connect us or tear us apart.
Yes.
Those perfect lives on Twitter often lead us to comparisons that don't exactly lift us up. The artist and educator is with us next, and she has ways to show us how to break through. There is much, much more on #TheBlend.
Coming up, social media influencer Mandy Harris Williams helps you increase your self-esteem. Stay online with us. We'll return in a sec.
It's time for the blend talk. It's time for the blend talk.
We're back and we're helping you tech your life the way you want to live it. Mandy Harris Williams is a conceptual artist, writer, educator, and social media influencer who starts important conversations over the internet. Mandy, it is so good to be here with you.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I mean, I was so excited when I knew I was going to be able to partner with you on this segment because we have a lot of things in common, right? So from our personal observations and also some of our academic studies, we've seen and have understood the impact of social media on mental health, on mood, and it's led us to respond in some distinct ways. So I surveyed hundreds of women, asked them about the impact of social media on their mental health. That was the basis of my TED Talk, as you know. Thank you. And you created something called the Selfie Esteem Questionnaire. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Selfie Esteem Questionnaire. First of all, I love the name. I think it's amazing, but what is that and why do we need to take it?
So the Selfie Esteem Questionnaire is kind of under this broader project that I do called #BrownUpYourFeed.
We're going to get to that.
The idea of that questionnaire is basically for us to stop and do kind of like a pulse check, right?
Yes.
Like, what am I looking at? What are the concepts that I'm like feeding myself as I'm looking at my feed? And how can I curate my feed so that it aligns with the values that I have personally and not just the values that are being kind of pushed to me by mainstream media?
You know, I love this because you're empowering us to become conscious of our behavior in social media, just like we're conscious about everything else. Now, there were some particular questions I love about this questionnaire because they're all important check-in questions, but I love that. I think it's what are my needs being met online? I love that question. I know why I love it, but why did you feel important to include it?
Well, when I first went on Instagram, I have to say I was a little bit aimless. I kind of just did it because everybody else had the app. I wanted to be down. And I would go on, I'd spend 20 minutes, I'd get right out of bed, spend 20 minutes on it. And
20 minutes is good. Girl, I'd be on there for an hour.
Thanks. But I felt like really down about myself. I felt like I needed to buy some bundles, I needed to get a new outfit, I needed to get a whole new lifestyle in order to be seen, or in order to get those likes, or in order to get that social congratulations that I noticed other people had. And so what I wanted to do was start to shift how I was curating my feed, be a little bit more intentional, think to myself, okay, what is it that I'm looking for? Am I looking for inspiration? Am I looking for a conversation? Am I looking for community? And start to interact based on those needs.
And if I'm not getting it, then there's probably something I need to change about my feed, right? So I think this is the perfect time to talk about #BrownUpYourFeed. Because this to me felt like a call to action based on everything that you're talking about. So tell our Blend family what that's about.
Okay, so Brown Up Your Feed is, it came from a really personal experience. I was looking for some inspiration for just what it is to be a West African descended Black woman who's out here in the world trying to be cute. And lots of the times I was seeing that our Black models did not reflect my genotype.
That beautiful chocolate. And that beautiful hair.
So that they had a different skin tone or a different curl type, and I was realizing I wasn't reflected, and I was starting to build up people who didn't affirm my own beauty. And so I really needed to brown up my feed. I needed to include more women who looked like me so that I could see like, oh, like I can be cute, and there are these models for Black beauty, dark Black beauty.
You're talking about representation and how we have the power to actually represent ourselves. You know, it reminds me of this story. One of my closest friends, we were about to travel to Costa Rica, right? And she wanted a new do, just a Black woman. She wanted a new do, so she dyed her hair blonde. It didn't go right, and so she ended she ended up having to shave all her hair off. And so right before we left, she was telling us that she was feeling really, really bummed until she remembered Denai Guerrera Okoye from Black Panther and how she was rocking the heck out of her low cut, and she instantly felt better. Just having that image, you know, just seeing like it's okay to look like this was everything to her. So we need to do this. We have the power to do this to ourselves, and I love that you're taking it into your own hands. Now you've also written some incredible think pieces all over the internet, and it seems like you have like a main message. Am I right?
Yeah, I do.
Share it, because you can say this better than I can. Like, what do you want Black women everywhere to know?
I want Black women everywhere, also Indigenous people everywhere, people who are systematically underrepresented to know that they are worthwhile, that our history of having to manage being unseen or underseen has strengthened us, and that now we really should celebrate that, we should share it, and that we should be in communities where we can encourage each other, like each other's content, engage, and just support one another.
You are incredible.
You are.
Thank you. I mean, I know. No, but you are empowering us, and I love you for it. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Coming up, we'll take questions from our website. Keep following us. We'll be right back.
It's time for the Blend Talk. It's time for the Blend Talk.
Welcome back, Blenders. We love hearing from you online, and we're ready to take your questions. So, Jewel, what do you have for us?
I do have some questions. Thank you so much, viewers, for going to our website. Now, the first question I have is, I saw your episode with Dr. Angela Neal Barnett, and I'm curious if you ladies will have shows where you focus on one person to help. I wanted to know more about them, especially because I related to them. I'm going to go ahead and answer that. I'm glad you asked that question because that is the direction and the intention of this panel of expertise, is that we'll go deeper and we'll go into more background of the questions, and we'll be able to focus on them, and from our own individual expertise, really bring some healing and some information, motivation, inspiration for our future guests.
That's a good question.
Like
We got another one?
for sure.
Yeah. So the next one is from Mary Cannon. Gloria, will you later have episodes dedicated to your particular strength?
Yes, and thank you for asking that question. You know, all of us are specifically focused on areas related to mind, body, spirit. And just as a reminder, we can real quickly just say a couple. I'm a psychologist and I focus on the imagination and creativity.
I'm also a psychologist, and I focus a lot on the impact of media and social media on our mental health.
I am a naturopathic doctor specializing in women's health.
And I am a spiritual teacher known as the Self-Esteem Doctor, and I'm here to bring you some inspiration and empowerment for your spiritual and emotional wellness.
Exactly.
So we do have another question. Peace, this is for you. It's from Rachel. Rachel says, you know, I feel like social media is ruining my relationship with my boyfriend. But he doesn't seem to think so. How can we fix this?
Hey, Rachel. So first of all, that's a good question. And I do want to validate your concerns that social media can be destructive to your relationship, but it doesn't have to be. So I would treat this conversation as you would any other kind of, complicated conversation, whether that be money or sex. Get together and try to get on the same page. Establish some social media rules or boundaries. Talk about what makes you comfortable, what doesn't make you comfortable. See if you can compromise about that and see if that works for you. But I will say this, that there is absolutely nothing that can replace just some good old-fashioned quality time with one another.
Absolutely. Can I add a little bit to
Yeah,
that?
absolutely.
You know, I do a lot of coaching with couples, and especially on relationships, and I think that those are hot button topics. Sex and money. Come on. Sex and money.
And now social media.
In trouble with social media.
Right.
So maybe, Rachel, he's feeling like the social media is like a third person. And sometimes people don't like that. They want that secrecy. Keep it in the house. Don't tell nobody. So that was a good question, Rachel.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Good one. I have one here from Tabitha. Oh, it's from Jody. Okay, I can read.
Yes, you can, Joe.
Okay, Jody says, okay, I think this should be for you, Tabitha. That's what it is.
All right, let's hear it.
With so much information on Google, how do we know what advice we should really listen to?
Ooh, that's a good question. And believe it or not, I get this question all the time.
I bet you do.
You know, I find ladies trying to treat themselves using Dr. Google, and sometimes that just doesn't work, right? Because we're all different. We all have different body technologies. It's about the physiological makeup of our body. For instance, you know, one question I get all the time is about diet. You know, should I follow the vegan diet? Should I follow the vegetarian diet? Should I be paleo, keto, Atkins? There are so many.
Been on all those
I
diets.
have been on every single one of them, believe it or not.
That's real.
But what I found is you have to listen to your body. Because my body is different than Peace's body. Peace, you could probably eat a whole gallon of ice cream and twice. Do anything 2 or 3 times, right? But
it does something. Don't get me wrong.
Right. Well, but I can't do that. So, and some people just can't be on a vegan diet. You know, some people can't be on a paleo diet. So my advice to you is listen to your body. No one knows your body more than you do. Not even your doctor. So listen to your body and remember you can trust what we're telling you because we are truth tellers. Don't always rely on Dr. Google. And we are really, I love these questions. We're really stirring it up today. So coming up, regulating your tech tools.
Okay.
Stick with us. You are in the mix and we are the blend.
Coming up, Jewel, Peace, Gloria, and Tabitha chat social media management. Stay posted. Our Inhale, Exhale is next.
It's time for the blend talk. It's time for the blend talk.
I love you, ladies, and I love our blenders. This has been a great show. Wow. I know that you're watching because you want to have a fierce body, a strong mind, and dynamic health.
Yeah.
So we are blending together all this information so that you can cultivate a spiritual and emotional well-being.
Yeah.
We know that sometimes it's just difficult because we don't make it always a priority over our tech toys.
Yeah. That's
right.
So if you want to find a way to get stronger and be on purpose, we have to learn how to live our best lives and live with our own true reality. We need to learn how to tap into our spiritual foundation and know that we can make anything happen. Get those love connections, that one-on-one, and especially with our Creator, instead of just clinging to our devices and living vicariously through other people's lives as we sometimes do online.
Yeah.
We can set boundaries. This is a key word for me, boundaries in our tech experience to make sure that we're learning how to bond with our loved ones and bond with each other.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and the other thing we need to do, because the rate of change is happening so quickly with this technology.
It is.
They, you know, they were saying that what used to take 100 years is taking 10 years, and that's even accelerating. And so we've got to change our mindset. We've got to shift our mind, change our mindset so that we can be ready for the robot. People, the robots.
Her and her robots.
And I encourage people to go read about the future of work.
Yeah.
Because jobs are going away at a mass, and jobs that you would never imagine. You know, accountants, lawyers, not just cashiers, high-level jobs.
It's
So
reality.
we need to be informed, and we need to get ready.
Right. Well, you know, we can't be mentally prepared unless we honor our circadian rhythm. We have to honor our sleep cycle.
Get
Yeah.
rest.
And yes, ladies, if you're sleep deprived, it can lead to weight gain because it throws off your hormones.
Wow.
So if you are having trouble sleeping, you can always try a natural melatonin supplement. There's tart cherry juice, which has natural melatonin in it. There's lavender, chamomile. There's so many things you can try to get to sleep.
And just remember to put your phones down sometimes when you're with family members having dinner at a restaurant. You know, I think boundaries are so important, don't you?
Yeah, me too. I mean, I want to talk specifically and really quickly to social media because you know that's where a lot of us are at. So I'm a big fan of the unfollow and the unfriend. Clicking that button, hitting that because first of all, you don't just have to let anybody in your space. I mean, it's kind of like our regular homes, right? You don't just let anybody into your home, any old kind of energy, right? You don't let people who don't make you feel good about yourself. So it's the same thing in social media. If there's someone you're following, a brand, a business that doesn't affirm who you are, unfollow.
Yes,
you know, if it's a
that's so
person,
important.
unfriend. And you know, the cool thing about Instagram in particular is that there's a mute button, so they don't even have to know. You can just mute, stop seeing their updates, and you're Gucci.
Yes, for sure.
That is some real talk right there. You're giving us some more tips. Blenders, I just cannot wait for you to see what we're going to have in our upcoming episodes. In our episodes in the future, we're going to be putting so much black magic into these messages so that you can heal, so that you can feel whole. What? Mind, body, and spirit. So make sure you lock us in. Tell your circle of influence. People will follow you because you are a leader. The people you network with, your family, your friends, your church, your school friends, your college mates, all of them are watching you. And whatever you're watching, they're gonna watch too. So tell them about the blend. We want all of you to be part of this wonderful love, this wisdom, this power, this sisterhood that we got going here. We're mixing it into the show every episode, and we're doing it all for who? For them, for you, because we know that we are stronger when we are together.
Say that.
In the episodes coming up, we'll be going deeper, deeper, and sharing our individual expertise and talking to new guests about how you can keep yourself strong and healthy at peak performance. So remember, You are not just one-dimensional. You're three-dimensional.
Yep.
We are what? Spirit?
Oh yeah, body, mind.
We are the blend.
We are the blend.